Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Cleavers for with Domie Asogwa. I sincerely apologize. There was a bit of delay. It was a technical hitch, and I am excited today. I really want to talk to us about something, and the topic we're looking at today is stop praying for the one until you hear this. I have something to tell you. And this is not against prayer. Of course, I want you to pray. But I feel like many of us might be praying amiss. Okay. So before we jump right in, I want to tell you what the Cleavers Forge is all about. The Cleavers Forge is actually powered by the married Trove, and it is aimed at getting singles forged to unlock marital bliss. We believe so much in healthy marriages. We believe that there is joy, there's peace, there's laughter, there's pleasure in marriage. So this series is simply put together to help singles to get forged so that they can unlock marital bliss. So first of all, I want to ask you, have you ever prayed for the one? Have you ever asked God to reveal the one? Have you had to wait for the one? Was there any time where you rejected people because you did not immediately feel like, oh, this person is the one? What if you've been asking the right question in the wrong way? What if I'm really curious? Okay. What if the right prayer isn't, Lord, where is my person? Or Lord, where is the one? But Lord, who must I become to love the person you're bringing into my life well? Okay. And when I say this, I'm not arguing against praying for marriage. Prayer matters. It really does. All I'm saying is that prayer should not become a substitute for preparation. So you're supposed to pray and also prepare for marriage. You can actually pray for a healthy marriage while avoiding the work required to become a healthy spouse. And that's not what we want. So today, I want us to really move our mindset from just hunting for a relationship to actually preparing ourselves for personal transformation. So, at the end of this session, I'm hoping that every single person that's here should be able to understand why the idea of the one can sometimes create unhealthy expectations. At the end of the session, I also want you to know the difference between asking God for a spouse and preparing to become a spouse. At the end of the session, I want you to be able to know how spiritual maturity can affect romantic decisions. And then I also want you to know why emotional preparation matters before commitment. So you are going to be shifting from who will I choose to who do I need to become. So to move further into this session, I want to read to us our anchor scripture. Our anchor scripture this week is Romans 12, verse 2. And it says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Transformation comes because, sorry about that, transformation actually comes before many of the outcomes we desire. Before asking God to change your relationship status, you should also invite Him to transform your thinking, to transform your motives, to transform your character and your capacity to love. So, in today's class, I would be teaching you 9 lessons. Okay, I think I added one, so it's actually 10 lessons. So, there are 10 lessons we'll be looking at to help shift your mindset from who do I choose to who do I need to become to build a healthy marriage. So, lesson one, what's really the problem with the one? The phrase might sound beautiful, but it can become dangerous when you turn it into a fantasy. Some people imagine that somewhere there's one perfect person, and that perfect person will understand everything about them without explanation. That perfect person will never disappoint them. That perfect person will take away all of their loneliness. That perfect person will automatically meet all their needs, and somewhat when they match up with this perfect person, the person is going to make the relationship effortless. That is not marriage. That is fantasy. That's a fantasy. There may be people who are more compatible with you than others. That's true. But a healthy marriage still requires two imperfect people making intentional choices every day. So marriage would have to be worked at. So if you fantasize about one perfect, the one that's just going to make marriage all effortless, it's a fantasy. So I want to tell you from a counselor standpoint, from being your coach today, don't search for someone who makes marriage unnecessary work. No, we don't want that either. But what I want you to do is to prepare to become someone who is willing to do the work of marriage, who is willing to put in the work to make your marriage work. So, are you this person? Are you willing to put in the work required for your marriage to work? Let's see lesson two. Lesson two says, stop treating singleness like a search mission. Many of you, that's what you like classify this your single journey as. It's a search mission. Oh, I'm searching for my husband. Oh, I'm searching for my wife. Some singles spend enormous energy trying to find someone. They attend events just because they are looking for potential spouses, not because of the benefit they stand to gain from those events. Okay? They evaluate every new person that comes their way. They're always asking the question, could this be my husband or my wife? So once they meet anybody, it's already ringing in their head, oh, what if this person is my husband? What if this person is my wife? That mindset can prevent genuine connection. Instead of seeing people as people, you begin seeing them as candidates. So anybody that comes your way, as far as the person is single, it becomes a candidate on your list. And you're not able to connect even on platonic levels. We don't want that. So I want you to ask yourself a healthy question today. What can I learn about this person? As in, when you meet that person, when you meet someone, the healthy question you should ask yourself is that, what can I learn about this person? And who am I becoming through my interaction with this person? Are you saying that will change your mindset? Not every meaningful relationship has to become marriage. There are people who are going to come into your life and they are going to build a meaningful relationship with you, but it doesn't mean that it has to end in marriage. Some relationships will teach you things, some relationships will encourage you, some relationships will challenge you, some other relationships will help you understand yourself better. So you see why I am saying you should not treat this singlehood period as a search mission. Okay, let's see lesson number three. Your prayer is one-sided. Your prayer needs a second half. So you've been praying one part of that prayer. Now it's time to explore the second half of the prayer. There's really nothing wrong with praying, truly, and I encourage you to. Okay, but all this while you've just been praying, God, lead me to the right relationship. God, bring the right person my way. How about you add, Lord, make me ready for a new relationship. Lord, make me ready for marriage. How about you pray for wisdom to recognize healthy love? You can also pray for courage to walk away from what is wrong. Because I see a lot of singles who have stayed stuck in relationships that they know is wrong, but they've remained there instead of breaking out of it. Why not pray for patience to allow relationships develop naturally? You can also pray for discernment in choosing a life partner. You can pray for the ability to communicate with your partner honestly and correctly. You can also pray for humility to be able to receive correction from your partner, whether as a man or a woman. You can pray for strength to keep you and to help you keep your values, even when you're under pressure. You can pray for spiritual maturity to love this person without losing yourself. So you see that you've been praying just one half of the prayer. So there are other things you can pray about. So please don't only pray for the person you want. Pray for the person you need to become to be deserving of that person you want. You remember what I always say, right? You have to become to attract the person you want. Please don't be praying one-sided prayer. Begin to pray. Pray, yes, to call forth who you want to marry. Pray to call forth your life partner. But please don't forget the other half of the prayer. Pray to become the person who is deserving to have that's the one in their lives. Okay, so let's look at lesson 4. Lesson 4 says emotional preparation. And then there's a question attached to this. Can you receive love? You've been searching for love, but can you receive love? I've noticed that some people want love but struggle to receive it. So they may distrust kindness, they overanalyze affection, they reject vulnerability, they feel uncomfortable being cared for. They assume every good thing would eventually disappear. And a lot of times this is born out of trauma, maybe trauma from past ugly relationships or from experiences of other ill marriages that have happened around them. So you need to be emotionally prepared. Emotional preparation means learning how to give and receive healthy affection without fear, without that fear controlling the relationship. So perfect love casts out all fear. So for you to be emotionally prepared, that means you can give and receive healthy affection. So I want you to ask yourself today, can I allow someone know me honestly? Can I be vulnerable with someone? Not the impressive version of me, not the successful version, not the version designed to be desirable. I'm talking about the real you. Can you allow someone to know you honestly? Healthy marriages requires authenticity. It requires you to be vulnerable. It requires you to be able to give yourself to someone wholeheartedly and honestly. Can you do that? Let's see lesson number 5. Can you love without losing your identity? Another form of emotional preparation is understanding that intimacy should not erase individuality. So that you're seeking for the one should not erase you also as the one, because you are going to come with your own peculiar identity and that person is going to come with their own peculiar identity, and the two of you will come together to become one. Okay, and the fact that the two of you, the Bible says the two shall become one flesh, it doesn't mean that you lose your individuality. It rather means that two individuals intentionally build a shared life. Okay, so you should still have your own personal values, you should still have your own personal purpose, you should still have your own personal friendships, your own personal interests, your own personal convictions, your own healthy boundaries. You should still have your own individual responsibilities. It doesn't erase that. Okay, so a healthy relationship creates an avenue for partnership without demanding that your own personal identity disappears. Are you seeing? So ask yourself again, can you love without losing your identity? Let's look at lesson number 6. Spiritual preparation is more than finding someone who goes to church. I know I'm talking to a lot of Christian singles, so you can maybe check around and do like a survey, and you find out that someone can actually attend church, someone can quote scriptures, someone can serve in church, speak in other tongues and still lack spiritual maturity. The spiritual maturity I'm talking about is in depth on the basis of spiritual preparation. And this means allowing your faith to shape your decisions, allowing your faith to shape your character, allowing your faith to shape your treatment of others, allowing your faith to shape your integrity, to shape your humility, to shape stewardship in you, allowing your faith to shape your attitude towards commitment, allowing your faith to shape your ability to forgive, allowing your faith to shape your willingness to submit to wisdom. So, are you saying if you allow your faith to do all of these things, then you are on your way to spiritual maturity? So, I want you to ask yourself today, is my faith producing the kind of character I would want to live with? If I were the one, if I were the one to analyze myself as the one, would I say my faith has produced the character I would want to live with for the rest of my life? Let's see lesson 7. Discernment is not the same as a sign. Some people, especially singles, are Christian singles rather, are waiting for dramatic confirmation. So you hear singles saying things like, God, if this person is the one, let me see 3 butterflies before Friday. But healthy discernment is usually grounded in something bigger than that. So healthy discernment is not the same as a sign. Healthy discernment will focus on things like the person's character, the person's consistency, the person's values, the person's wisdom, the person's behavior, the person's relational health, the person's direction in life, and how that direction impedes on yours or helps yours. Are you seeing? So healthy discernment will look at the fruit of the spirit. It will be observing what fruit is this person bearing over time. Okay, so don't make your major relationship decisions solely because something felt spiritual at one point. No, healthy discernment will help you check over time all of the things I have mentioned. And please, know that your peace is valuable. Oh. Your peace is very valuable in marriage, and discernment is what will help you decide if you really have peace in that relationship or not. Okay, so I want you to give room for discernment. I want you to give room for wisdom in making the decision of a life partner. Let's see lesson 8. Stop asking, is this the one, too early. Sometimes you just meet someone and you're already asking yourself, is this the one? Is she the one? Is he the one? You've not even gotten to know the person yet. So rather, I think step one, you should be able to ask yourself, who is this person? And that question will help you get more knowledge about the person. So who is this person? Then also ask yourself, what is this person's character like? When you meet that young man, when you meet that young woman, who is this person first? What is this person's character like? How do we relate with each other? Then ask yourself also, our values and our direction for purpose, is it compatible? Then also, please try and evaluate, can we build something healthy together? When you've been able to ask yourself these questions or go through all of these steps with that person, then you should begin asking deeper questions for long-term commitment. Are you seeing? So please, it's not just when you meet someone, you say, oh, is he the one? Is she the one? You don't know the person. You've not considered what their character is like. You've not even considered how the two of you relate with each other. You've not been able to share your values with that person. The person hasn't shared his with you, you know. And then already you're saying, is she the one? Is he the one? Please, don't assign destiny to someone you have barely had time to know. Did you hear that? Don't assign destiny to someone you have barely had time to know. So get to know the person first. So let's see, lesson number 8. Preparation means developing the capacity to love. The truth is that love is more than an emotion. Love requires capacity. So there are certain things you need to learn. Can you earnestly tell yourself that you can listen even when you guys disagree? Would you be able to make room for the other person's perspective? Can you keep your word in that relationship and in marriage? If that relationship eventually leads to marriage, all those promises, all those things you have said, can you keep to your words? Can you give without keeping score? Oh, last week I did this for you. This 2 years ago I did this. Can you be generous to this person? Would you be able to apologize sincerely? Are you seeing the capacity needed to love? Can you also receive an apology? Can you celebrate that person's success like wholeheartedly? Can you remain kind even when disappointed to this person? Can you communicate difficult truths respectfully to this person? You see, all of these things I've mentioned, they are not romantic fantasies. Oh. They are all relationship skills. So you see, you need to build capacity to love. You need to build capacity to love. So before you're praying, oh Lord, bring me the one, this is one thing you need to do. Build the capacity to love. Let's look at lesson number 10. You need to become before you search. Instead of spending all your energy asking, where is my husband? Where is my wife? Why not spend some time asking yourself, who am I becoming? And then when you ask yourself that question, actually put action steps down so that you can actually become the right person. I always say you need to meet the requirements of your requirements as far as marriage is involved. So it's not just about you making a list, oh, I want a wife who is this, or I want a husband who is this. You, what kind of husband are you going to be? What kind of wife are you going to be? So you need to become emotionally prepared. You have to be someone who is capable of healthy vulnerability. You need to become spiritually grounded. Someone whose faith shapes their daily life. You need to become skilled in relationship building. Are you someone who knows how to communicate and connect? Have you built the relational skill needed to succeed in that relationship and marriage? You need to become purposeful. Someone whose life has meaning beyond relationship status. So it's not all about becoming Mr. This or Mrs. This. Does your life have purpose beyond relationship status? You also need to become self-aware. Are you someone that understands your strengths, your limitations, your weaknesses, your values, your needs? So are you saying, I've listed several things you need to become. So today I've been able to share 10 lessons with you to prove that it's not all about praying for the one. There are other things you need to do to make you or to become the one who is deserving of receiving the one you're praying for. Okay, so I want to take you through. I have a series of things that I would like to share with you, but I wouldn't be sharing it on this YouTube live. So if you're single and you've joined me today, I'll encourage you to join our singles community called the Cleavers League. It's a free community on WhatsApp. And on that group, I'll be sharing an exercise, the becoming exercise, with all the singles on that group. I'm also going to be sharing like a prayer guide that helps you upgrade your prayer from just praying for the one to praying other aspects, you know, like you beginning to pray to God about developing you during this single season. Okay, so I'll be sharing that in the group, and I'll also be sharing a personal checklist so you can rate yourself on some things I have listed, like spiritual consistency, self awareness, ability to receive love, ability to give love, emotional openness. So I've listed a lot of them. So you would do a personal self check, okay, to score yourself. And then that scoring is just so that you can identify where growth is needed, okay. But on this live session now, I'm going to be asking you a few reflection questions. So I'm hoping you have your notepads and your pen, although I'll still share these reflection questions in the singles community. Okay, so but right now, please take your notepad and your pen and take down these questions. At your free time, please sit down to reflect on them and answer them sincerely to yourself. Okay, the first question on my list is: have I become more focused on finding someone rather than becoming someone? That's number one. Number two, what does the phrase the one mean to me? What does the phrase the one mean to me? Number three, what unrealistic expectations have I attached to marriage? What unrealistic expectations have I attached to marriage? Number four, am I emotionally prepared to be genuinely known by another person? So, are you prepared to be vulnerable, to be honest with who you are, your authentic self with that person? Number five, does my spiritual life influence my relationship decisions? Number six, what kind of spouse am I currently becoming? Number seven, what would I want my future spouse to say about my character? Number eight, what area of my life needs intentional spiritual or emotional development? Number nine, what am I willing to work on before entering my next serious relationship? So I want you to be able to sit with yourself and answer these questions. But before I leave you, I always try to give you action steps. I don't want you to take this class and just go without, putting certain things into action. Okay. So I have a few action steps, and it's a becoming challenge I'm putting to you. I want you to become. I want you to become that person who is deserving of the one. Okay. So as you're praying for the one, you're becoming the one. So this is a challenge for you. I tagged it becoming challenge. It's actually practical action steps you should take. One, write down who you are outside your relationship status. So if I ask you now, beyond marriage or relationship, who are you? Can you answer me? So write down who you are outside your relationship status. Two, identify one spiritual discipline you need to strengthen. What's that one thing spiritually that you need to become more disciplined at? Write down three emotions you find difficult to express. So over time, maybe you realize that there are certain emotions you find very difficult expressing. So can you write down three of those emotions? Four, identify one communication skill you need to improve on. It's going to help you because the bedrock of marriage is communication. So if you're struggling with communicating or building the skill of communication, you're going to struggle in marriage. And we don't want that. So identify one communication skill you need to improve on. Okay. Five, write down three things you want your life to accomplish before marriage. So what are the three things you would like to accomplish before you get married? Yes, that will help you pursue purpose instead of being overly focused on the search. Okay. So six, ask yourself, what does healthy love look like in my everyday life? What does healthy love look like to me? Okay. Then question seven, I want you to ask yourself, have I been praying aright concerning my life partner, or have I been praying amiss? And on that basis, I want you to spend time praying not only for your future spouse, but for your own transformation. So I don't want the focus to just be on the person you're to get married to. How about you? So please spend some time praying for your own transformation too. Okay. So this brings us to the end of this week's episode, and I want to leave you with a simple charge. Okay. Regarding relationships, there are two ways you can approach it. You can either be on the searching mindset, like, or have the searching mindset, okay, or you can have the becoming mindset. And I encourage you to have the becoming mindset, because if you have the searching mindset, all you'll be doing is, where is the person who will make my life complete? Where is the person who is supposed to come and deliver me? Where is the person that's supposed, no. But please, I encourage you to have the becoming mindset. So instead of, where is the person, how can I become emotionally and spiritually prepared to build a healthy marriage? Okay. So if you have this mindset, it will help you from looking outward. Your focus will not just be entirely on what is out there, but rather the focus will now be inward. Okay. So that inward journey helps you prepare more, because you're going to be able to work on preparing yourself emotionally, you work on preparing yourself spiritually, work on preparing yourself relationally, building up on communication skills, on connection, and all of that. Okay. And please, don't make marriage the finish line of your life. It's not all there is to life. Okay. Please, don't make marriage the finish line of your life. Okay, so please, I encourage you to keep praying, but please pray aright. If you enjoyed today's session, I would like to ask you to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And we come live every week on Wednesday by 12 noon on Cleavers Forge with Domie and Asogwa. This is a free coaching series for singles. So every Wednesday by 12 noon, the series goes live. I encourage you to join me next Wednesday. The topics are always very enriching, and if you continuously join these sessions, you will get forged to unlock marital bliss, and that's what we want. We want you to be able to unlock marital bliss. We don't want you to endure marriage, we want you to enjoy marriage. So keep a date with me next Wednesday by 12 noon on this same channel. And for those who didn't join live, you can catch replay. Just come, even the past videos are up. It's all about learning. So you can pick anyone and watch. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. Have a lovely, lovely day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.